What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Acts of Creation. In this week's lesson, we're going to check out the Tool song Bottom. Now, this is a pretty heavily requested song, or has been, but it's not too complicated, so we should get through it pretty quick. As always, down in the description below, you can find the links for the tabs. We are in a drop D tuning, and let's jump in. Right, so the song starts off with a pretty banging riff and typical hard rock styling. It's right in 0, 2, 3, and 5. All right, I like this riff because it's actually 2 measures, not 1 measure, which is nice. And it's kind of harder to feel on the slow 4, but maybe a quick 8 count, counting 8th notes, can help you through it. But it's pretty straightforward. 0, 2, 3, 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 2. And then step back down. And then up to 5. Now, as you play through this riff, there's kind of like a ghost open note. Right, you like my stupid faces there, right? And then occasionally, I believe on the second pass, he plays that opening riff 3 times, well, 3.5 times. And on the second one, he cuts it off. Right? So just be aware of that, okay? So we're gonna go through that riff 3.5 times, that 4th time. Three, open, and you just let that ring, kind of feedback, go through normal stuff, and then we're gonna come into what will be the verse riff, and it's nice, simple song structure, right? 4 times open, 4 times muted, and it's 0, 2, 3, a flurry of dead notes, and then you're picking out a power chord, 3, 3, descending power chord. Right, and then you palm mute it and you bring the dynamics down and the vocals come in over it. Right, so like I said, it's 0, 2, 3. And then you have a flurry of dead notes. So if you have trouble with your alternate picking, this could give you some trouble, and then you just maybe a slight gradual bend or a heavy vibrato, whatever kind of works for you. All right, so like I said, it's 4 times, 4 times, and then you're gonna go right back into the main riff. Nothing new there, okay? And then you're gonna rinse and repeat. You're gonna do that again. Like I said, the song structure for this one is pretty straightforward, right? You go back into the verse, again, it's 4 and 4, but there is a slight variation, typical Jones, right, in the verse riff. You're gonna play it 4 times as you were, and then you're gonna kind of jump up and play some of it on the actual 4th string or your D string, right? You go from this to right, so since you're in a drop D tuning, your low D and your 4th string are the same pitches, right? So it's still, right, you still hold that the same, and then the low string open, but instead of going 2, 3 on the low string, it's 2, 3 on your 4th string. And then you pick out your power chord, and it's a normal tuning shaped power chord, 5, 3. And then again, you're back into the main riff. And then you get out of it like that. You're gonna stop on the 3, and then you're gonna move into the next section of the song. So we can consider this the bridge, and you're gonna slide up from 3 to 10. that. And you're gonna do that 8 times, right? So you're sliding up to 10, and 10 is the start. 10, 0, 5, 6, 5, 0, 3. Like that. And when you land on the 10, the longer notes, don't be afraid to give them a little life, a little wiggle, a little vibrato, a slight bend, right? Just breathe something into it. It's almost like playing grace notes on a snare drum, right? It just breathes something into the part. Right? I like doing a real, like, really gradual, small bend on that 5 to kind of, again, just give it some life. And then after that, you hold on those notes, you get some feedback, put on some delay pedals, do some nice picky scrapies, right? Make some nice noises as we're gonna go into the spoken word section of the song, all right? And when this riff kicks in, I think it repeats 13 or 15 times, right? The vocals will give you the cue out of it. You're basically just playing open. And you're playing that power chord. After the second time, you're going to do this once, right? A nice little 10, 12 hammer on the 4th string. You can play it there, the pitches are the same. And then gradually bend on the 12, and then go right back into it. And that's going to go on again for a good while. You have the spoken word section coming out of it, and that last time you hit your power chord, and then you're back into that riff again. And you're going to play that riff again 8 times, but here comes the variation. The second 4 times you're going to put basically extended power chords, right? It's just 10, 10, 10, 12, 13, that shape. You're gonna put that chord, those extended power chords, essentially on all the long notes. Very typical of Jones to do something like that. So then, after you do that for the 4 times with the extended power chords, you're gonna go into a cool little 6/4 riff. Like that. So it's O, and then you have this nice power chord shape, 5/3, and then 5/5, back to 5/3, and then that last 5 again is a pickup back to the open note. Okay, and then you're gonna do that 4 times, and then you're gonna go back to the bridge riff for another 4 times. So that section kind of repeats twice, right? You have the bridge riff, that cool 6/4 riff. Well, it's actually the bridge riff 8 times, the 6/4 riff, back to the bridge riff for 4 times, back to the 6/4 riff 4 times. So as we move out of that 6/4 riff, we're gonna move into a slight variation of it. Like that, right? So it's 003, 05, 03, all with the extended power chords. And then 003, 05, 01, and don't put the extension on the power chord. Cool. And then you go through that, I believe, 4 times, and then you're gonna set in, you basically stay on the 1, and then you jump up an octave on it. to the main riff, right? So that last time, 01, 01, 01, and then jump up, and it's 013, which is the same fret as 1. 13 minus 12 is 1. And then you slowly bend that note up. Back to the main riff. And you play that riff, I believe, 4 times, and then you come to the solo. Now, I'm going to disappoint everybody here. I've said this before. Some of the old solos are kind of just hot garbage. And I hate to say something like that, but this one is kind of right along those lines, right? It's really buried in the mix, and it's hard to hear exactly what's going on, right? So I'm just going to, kind of go over what you could do to mimic the solo, right? So we're going to start off with a unison bend on the second, on 10 and 12, right? 12 of the G, 10 of the B string. Now you could tremolo pick that if you wanted to, or let it ring out. Have some fun. Be free with what you're doing. Don't necessarily, at this moment of the song, try to imitate what's going on per se. Try to capture the feel or the vibe of it. That's kind of what's more important, right? Because that's not the hot garbage. That's actually cool, right? That's part of Jones's lead playing, is that you get this vibe and this feel, and it just fits the mood, right? The drums start ripping open, and you're just going. And you're literally like tremolo picking pentatonic stuff. So, what am I going to show you besides that, right? So you kind of just do the bend. Maybe even do it on 13, so you're a half step closer to the unison note. Right? Maybe that fits the vibe a little bit better, and then those kind of pull off pentatonic riffs. And then there is a bend on 12, and then it sounds like he just kind of just tremolo picks down the rest of the pattern, right? So that's what I would kind of go for. So if you were looking to come to this video and be like, dude, I really want to know the solo, sorry, have some fun, tremolo pick some pentatonic, do some pull-offs, enjoy the vibe that happens, right? And coming right out of that, right, you just come down to 3. Ooh, I'm using a kind of a thin pick today, and I don't like it. And you hold on the note and just basically 30-second notes. Although a really quick section working on your alternate picking could be kind of tough for some of us out there, right? You go through that twice. 5, big open D extended power chord, and there you go. Tool's Bottom off the Undertow record. One of the few songs we haven't touched here on this channel. Again, it's aggressive just like the older stuff, so that really makes it fun to play. The song form is simpler than, say, the Fear Inoculum album, right? A lot less variation, more kind of just straightforward rock. Down in the description below, you can find the links for the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.